Welcome back, friends, and gather round for episode 29 of Simply Walking into Mordor. As always, this is Nauglir here, and a special welcome to you if this is your first time watching. We are here in fair Rivendell, fair sweet Rivendell. We have been here before, when we were unexpectedly teleported here. If only we had that power now. I did spend quite a while getting here, guys, just previously. And so, now that we're here, I did go ahead and buy another milestone skill from the store. They're not very expensive, only 350 turbine points. And so now we have a milestone bound to the Rivendell milestone, which means we will be able to return here whenever we need to, which will be very helpful because we will need to return here before level 40, which is when we get to swift travel here. And that will be very helpful indeed for us to be able to come back and forth between here as often as we can. So, we are riding now to the guest houses at Rivendell, which is just over here on the wrong side of the river for most of the town. Makes it a bit of a pain to get to, but not to worry, we can come here and speak to, I believe, Aragorn. Of course, we have spoken to Aragorn before. He is just in here. It looks like we also have another quest. Just turn those floaty names on. Ah, yes. Remember the
What can I do for you?
Road to the Lonely Mountain quest. Talking about these instances. Nauglir, you're a champion of some note. Perhaps you may be of some service to my father. Yes, Legolas's father, of course, the king in Mirkwood, and so the Scuttledells are being attacked by spiders, and so we... that is one of the instances in this instance chain, and so he is charging us with helping out there.
Greetings.
Boromir is charging us with reducing the goblins of the Misty Mountains to ruin, and so we will take it upon ourselves to do that instance at some point. But Aragorn, you're the one we're here to speak to. Book 3, Chapter 7, The Council Assemble.
I thank you for this news.
Oh, that I could be there to aid in those matters, but it would seem my fate lies to the south and not the north. I will compose a message for Halbrand and ask Master Elrond if one of his elves could carry it to Esteldy. You have done enough, and you have my thanks. For now, take what ease you can here in Rivendell. Well, that's very nice of him, isn't it? And let's see, do you have any gear that we would want to wear? No one ever has gear for us. That's level 30. We might just take that. That will be useful for us next level. Of course, last episode, if you remember, we finished off the council gathering. We defended Trestlebridge, and Halbrand was asking for advice from Aragorn, which is why we're here. And we just finished off that quest there, finishing off Book 3 of the Epic. And unfortunately, that's all of the Epic we can do for now. And so what we're going to do for the rest of this episode is a bit different. We're going to do some regular old, normal questing. Now, I would have liked to get to level 30 here. That would have been very handy if we had achieved level 30 before we got here, because we would have been able to do some different skirmishes and showcase them, but that's fine. We can go and do some quests in Evendim. Before we do, can we open this? No, we can't. Too low. Our level is too low. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to make my way to... where am I going? Evendim. We're going to make our way to Evendim. It is another long ride away, but we're going to go, I think from Trestlebridge we'll go. So I'll return there. Luckily we have a milestone still there. And I'll ride from Trestlebridge to Tinadir. I'll just show you on the map where I'm going to go, and then I will head out to a very long ride. We'll see. I might have something to talk about. We might talk about some damage stats some more. This is going to be more of a chatty episode. So we're going to ride up the road here and then to the west through the fields of Fornost to Evendim. And then along this road here, we're going to swing up to Ostvarod to speak to that stable master. And then down here to Tinadir, speaking to that stable master. We'll pop a milestone at Tinadir and then ride down, speaking to the stable masters all the way down through to Oatbarden. Now, we're not going to quest in Oatbarden, we're going to quest in Dwaling, but it's good to get all the stable masters. So we'll just have a nice leisurely ride together. How does that sound? I think that sounds pretty good. Evendim is very handy because all of the stable masters there are linked by swift travel. So you can go from anywhere to Tinadir, and then Tinadir will take you anywhere. There's even boat masters in Evendim to get across the massive lake, Lake Evendim. And so, let us ride to Evendim together. Now, Evendim is a very beautiful place. I will be glad to show you it. It does have a bit of the Fields of Fornost in it, and so looks a bit daunting on our first entry, but we will find it very welcoming, and we'll be dealing with tomb raiders a lot there. There are lots of ancient tombs in Evendim, as that is where Elendil ruled from. He ruled from Enuminas, the city that is down there in the south of Evendim, on the bottom of the lake. And there are lots of old tombs there of kings of old, kings of Arnor and of the Old Kingdom. And so, there are lots of tomb robbers robbing those places. It is also the headquarters, or one of the other headquarters. Estelden is the main headquarters. But Tinadir and the places around here are filled with rangers of the north. So we'll be working with the rangers in Evendim. Very fitting for our quest at the moment, working with the rangers. And so I'm looking forward to that. We're going to level in Evendim for about 7 or 8 levels, hopefully getting to level 38, I think, before we resume our epics. The next epic quest is a level 37 quest, and book 4 goes all the way up to 39, I believe. So we're going to quest until level 38, which will be easily done in Evendim. There are many, many quests to get us there. And then we will be good to go to quest through the books a bit further. But for now, we are riding to Evendim. And on the way, I think we will talk a bit about damage a bit more. So, we've been discussing single-handed and two-handed weapons. We've been talking about how the damage numbers can impact the skill damage, which is the main way you do damage in this game. And so that's why usually I opt for a two-handed weapon as a champion. But, as I have mentioned, in some cases it is necessary to go for two single-handed weapons, because they will just be better together than any two-handed weapon you've seen. Just dodging some Oathbreakers here as we ride through the Fields of Fornost. Yes, but there are some other things to look at in terms of damage. There are some other things to take into account when you're selecting your weapon. Now, notice up there it says 47 to 78 common damage. Now, common damage is obviously the most common of damage types, but it is a type of damage, and there are lots of different types of damage in the game. Let's see if we have a skill that does any other type of damage. I'm not sure that we do. Most of your physical skills will be determined by your weapon's damage type. I do believe we have a sword that has a different damage type. Yes, Helaglang here, this sword, has Balerian damage type. I think I've gone off the track here. I have. Yep, I've definitely lost my way. So we're gonna go. Where are we? Oh no, I think we're going the right way. Just up here. My bad. So yes, Balerian damage, different to common damage. And you might ask, what's the point of that? Well, a lot of enemies in higher levels have resistances to common damage, and they won't have the same resistance to Balerian. And in some instances, there are even invulnerabilities associated with types of damage. So you have to be very careful about what you use. We're going to pick up this quest, An Island in the Lake, talk to Calanglad. He's a ranger at the island of Tinadir, which is where we are headed. And so we'll pick up that quest. It is a bit high for us now, and these enemies you'll see now as we enter Evendim are much higher than us. This is where we will end up questing at some point. We're going to begin questing in Dwaling. Around there. I'll explain why in a second. But yes, Balerian damage and common damage different. There are lots of different types of damages. There's Ancient Dwarf, Balerian, there is Westerness, there is Fire, Light, all these other types of damage, Lightning, Frost, all these things. And they all have a different mitigation associated with them on enemies. Now, if you're a Lawmaster, you have there's a skill that lets you inspect an enemy's mitigations. And that's quite useful for knowing what an enemy is weak to. And so it's handy to have a Lawmaster around to kind of find out that. although most people will just stick with any non-common damage. So usually our weapons will try not to be common. This is fire damage. That's interesting. This dagger does fire damage. So that is very handy indeed if we need to do some fire damage. We're going to swing up to the north here, just as we ride further in, looking a bit more peaceful. We're going to ride up to the north to Ostvarod, which is those ruins up there at the top of the hill. As you can see, lots and lots of ruins around of the old, kingdoms of men, the Númenórean style of building. And that is because, as I said before, this land was once inhabited richly by Elendil and his people after they came from the sunken island of Númenor. So yes, as I was saying, the different damage types, something to take into account when you're thinking about what weapon you want to put on. As we get into legendary items, we can even customize the damage types on them, but I will speak about that in more depth when we hit legendary items. Alright, we have found the Stable Master at Ostvarod, and you can see there's lots of places we can get to from here. So let's get right in. Oh, we've been ambushed by a tomb robber. That's not great. We're going to ride down to Tinadir now, as our ride continues for this time. So I think down here you can see physical damage will reduce things like common damage types. So even this can be related to damage. Physical mitigation will help us out with common damage that's being done to us. And tactical will help us out with things like fire damage and other damage types like that. So yeah, that's a little helpful hinters on damage and weapons, and obviously also to do with your weaponry. You want to make sure you're not losing too many stats when you change out your weapons. You might be wondering why I haven't swapped out our massively powerful two-handed sword for some of these weaker one-handed, because together they would overtake two-hander in damage. But damage alone is not what we're looking for. We've also got might and physical mastery to worry about, and also crit rating, and this sword gives us 33 might and 216 physical mastery. So if we have a look at the percentage increase on our damage, 26.8%. If I unequip that, we're going down to 22.2%. So we're increasing our damage by 4.6% just by equipping this sword. So that's something else to take into account. As we ride across the bridge here into Tinadir. Tinadir, of course, being the main hub of Evendim, and so we're going to drop a milestone down here. This is the main area of Evendim that we'll be going around, and there is a milestone just over here. And Calenglad, who we were tasked with speaking to, just over here. There are trainers on Tinadir, and also a skirmish camp just to the south here, where we might run our level 30 skirmish from. But before we do that, let's speak to Calenglad, complete our quest, get some bronze Anorian coins. Very useful for us. Good, good, good. Okay, we've got ourselves a new deed to do quests in the North Downs. We actually did pick up a quest by accident there as we were running through the fields of Fornost about a roving enemy. So we're going to take that quest off. I also did cancel all of our Lone Lands quests except for the Inn of the Forsaken. We'll keep that one. Because we aren't going to be running those. We are too high level. We're ready for Evendim now. And so here we are. We are riding now south. We're going to High King's Crossing, which is this bridge over here. That's another little camp of rangers on the bridge. There's a stable master there for us to pick up. And also the route south towards where we will actually be questing. Guys, yeah, I hope you understand damage a bit more now, how it works in the game. Let me know if you do have any questions about any mechanics or things like that. I've got plenty to go through, but if you have any questions specifically about some mechanics, maybe something that I've said that you don't understand, make sure you leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to answer them in some of these rides that we have a bit of time to chat. But as we come up here on the High King's Crossing, we will be speaking to another stable master, building up our network of swift travels that we can use. Right, here we are, another stable master. Very good. Let's travel further south. We're not going to put a milestone on there because we won't be questing here just yet. We will be, maybe next episode, we'll be getting up to High King's Crossing. Questing through Evendim does go rather quickly. So I do think we'll be getting through here pretty quickly. We have been leveling pretty slowly in recent times, guys, because we've been doing the epic story. Obviously, not many quests to do at once, which means not much experience to be gained all at once. But that's A-okay. I've been very much enjoying doing these quests, these epic quests. I hope you've been enjoying watching them. We're just riding south now towards Dwaling, an old hobbit town, which has unfortunately been overtaken by tomb robbers and men who are loyal to Saruman. So we'll definitely be dealing with them. That is where we're going to be questing first up. There is even a quest bubble below Dwaling, that is in Oatbarton. However, it could be the most boring questing in the entire game. You might be able to convince me otherwise, but in terms of places where you quest very often, Oatbarton down there is pretty boring. You're basically preparing a farm, getting it ready for market day, and it's just running back and forth throughout the farm, not really doing much productive at all. So we won't be doing that in our playthrough. I do usually do it. It is fairly time efficient, but I'm not really inclined to do that on camera. It's pretty boring content. Although we might force to, depending on how high the levels of the quests are around here. As I'm seeing these enemies that we're going to be facing level 32, we should be right with that. We'll just have to be a bit more careful than usual, and we'll be a-okay. So following the road here through the desert, or through the kind of beach of Garandal, and we'll be heading into Dwaling very shortly. This is technically part of the Shire. As you can see, we're close to the Shire. It's just here. We actually haven't visited the Shire in our playthrough. Be sure to show it off at some point on the channel, but this region just here at this wall is actually part of the North part. So we are now in the Shire, although the game considers it still part of Evendim. And for good reason. The quests here are much higher. So we won't be doing much questing for actual Shire people, but we will be getting some reputation from the Shire. We've gotten some other reputation factions recently that I might not have mentioned.
A lovely day, isn't it?
It is a lovely day. It's actually nighttime though, so your mistake. We're going to talk to this milestone here. This is where we'll be questing lots of quests for us to gather here. So we'll replace our Trestle Bridge milestone with that one. And keep heading down south along the road to find Oatbarton. What was I saying just before? I can't remember. I was mentioning something or other before we reach Dwaling. Oh well, slipped my mind. That's the nature of recording live. Just distract yourself. I'm sure I was talking about something to do with the Shire or being down here. But yes, we are going to be aiding the people of Evendim soon. Hopefully leveling up to 30 in this episode. Riding a bit further south. And we will be reaching the farming village of Oatbarton. Farming village here, very peaceful, although there is a instance here that you can run for level 65 and above, up in the farm up there, and it is pretty often run. A couple of quests that we could do here, but as I said, we are not going to do those.
Hello there.
Don't really want to bore anyone with the quest of the farm. They are not very gripping. Okay, we're going to use our map to Bullroar's Sword. Get us in our quest for the people there. These hobbits, spot of bother. All right, Ronald Dwal, what would you like?
Speak with you a moment.
You've lost your dog. Okay. It's not even a dog. It's a piece of lead fashion. Okay, so we're gonna find the small lead dog somewhere in the beach.
Might I have a word with you?
We are going to investigate what the goblins have done, and seem to have been vile. They've been killing spiders, so we're going to examine the course of the spider, see what they've been doing.
Might I have a word with you?
We are also going to collect a set of glass blowing tools that Hob Hillborough has lost. They are in the town of Dwaling, and that town has been overrun by ruffians, so we're going to reclaim those glass from him.
Please, stay a
Finally,
moment.
we're going to collect white sand for Mundarik Sandheaver, and as of course, this is a glass blowing. I don't know before. Yes, they are glass blowers here in Dwaling, and so they need white sand to blow glass. Of course, in this forge here, so we're going to collect some sand that is a bit dangerous to the town at this point. Okay, we're going to do this in a bit of a loop order. We're going to go down to the goblin camp, just a bit to the south of Dwaling, and then examine the spider there, examine the corpse of the spider. Then we'll be running through the what is it called, the desert or the beach, collecting the sand from there, and also finding small lead dogs, because I believe now, I have recently done these quests, and I must say I'm glad the champion has come around, because look at this. These guys are so weak, but 4 enemies is difficult for most characters. So being a champion, deal with them better. Alright, we're here in the Bleak Leaf Crest, and hopefully we will find the corpse of the spider. Who are we finding? Go find the spider. Bob Green Eves asked us find the spider. Yes, got a hobgoblin. Oh, looks like we've killed enough goblins in Evendim. Or is this the Shire? This could still be. I'm not sure. I don't see how we could have possibly killed enough goblins in Evendim. We've already completed the We're losing a bit of here, but that's alright. Bring them down with these. Just enough. Okay, died from a bleed there. Alright, we brought them down. Very good. Corpse of the spider. Found it. And success! We reveal that the spider's remains revealed the goblin let it lie, virtually untouched. All of the ichor and venom of the spider have been collected. Not that sinister, if you ask me. Seems like they're making venom. So definitely report that back to the town. But for now, we're going to go into the desert and collect it. Down here we go. Finding some sand, basically. And we also got a great wonder if that's better. It does have almost as much DPS. We're catching up to how good Unboxed Sword was. Perhaps we'll find a level 30 loot box at some point and be able to unbox a new sword. That would be ideal, obviously. I've got salamanders here. These guys will set us on fire. A bit oil on the ground, but we don't really want to kill these guys too much. Now, this one's 4 level up, so he is quite strong. We want to check something. Yeah, that was a Shire goblin play. Those goblins count as goblins in the Shire. Curious? Know that before. But it's a good place to farm goblins. Run trouble in Tuckborough and that's where we got those goblins, by the way. Probably for a skirmish. I did think about running a skirmish again. It wouldn't have been a new one, but I thought about running just to level up to 30 before we came here. Because these guys are a bit high level, but we will. So we're going to kill these sand Norbogs as well. More Nika-Briggers. That means we have more non-burrow to deal with. But that's fine. I'm not saying it's not. Have to kill them as quickly as possible. Hopefully find more dead dogs. I'm pretty sure you get more dead dogs from, yes, one of the burrowing Alright, we've got 7 with this piece, white sand. Flickering limb. These are kind of weird enemies. Lord of the Rings Online, they're just floating lights. Find them in many places throughout Middle Earth. We will have a quest to kill shortly. More and more white sand now. And as soon as we find some more Norbog, we will be slaying them as well to find the lead dog. I think after we finish this quest bubble, that'll be the episode. So yeah, we'll be doing these. Make sure we use bracing attack to heal us. Yeah, you can kind of notice that our sword is kind of getting outgrown. We are kind of under level here, and our sword is only 20, so we are outgrowing the sword, kind of finding out the hard way that we're not doing as much damage as we used to compared to enemies we're fighting. Maybe, for level 32 I might craft some gear for us and show you guys how good the craft gear is usually quite a bit better than the quest gear, so might show that off, make some crafted gear, and at level 32 have a look at how good it is. Can't interrupt these guys yet. Wonder when we did get out to build disrupts inductions. We could have stopped him from burrowing in the sand there if we had Flobber, which is the interrupt skill. Unfortunately, we don't have it. We are getting deflected quite a bit by this Norbog because he is such a higher level than us. We'll still be able to kill him, but it's just going to take us a bit longer until we get that level. 4 levels, quite a bit. Alright, we still haven't found the lead dog. Usually doesn't take as many Norbog as this to find. There's another Norbog over there. We've almost found enough white sand. This will be our last piece to collect. I don't really know why we couldn't just shovel up a bunch. But apparently we can pick up special glowy piles. But there are plenty of them. Alright, this burrowing sand Norbog. Prepare to meet your doom. Burrows and heals up again. Still no lead. Still no lead dog. I keep wanting to say lead. But that is not what we're looking for. A lead dog. Okay, let's see if we can bring down 2 at once. Maybe even 3. Okay, let's challenge this guy. We haven't been using challenge very much at all. That's definitely a skill. Use fight on. Get some health going. These guys are quite a bit higher than us, so we might be in some trouble here probably. Not very good. Okay, they've all burrowed and all healed themselves. That's not handy. But we should be able to without too much worry. Hopefully. He says not wanting to die to a bug. Okay, we brought one down. Still haven't got the dog. Come on. There we go. We found it. We found the small lead dog. We're going to mount up as soon as we've done that. And then we will ride back in, collect the satchel glassblowing tools, and return to the Hobbits in Dwaling. So just riding south here, southwest, coming to the town of Dwaling. It's overrun by brigands and ruffians. Not very kind people. And a goblin. Out of place. Alright, here we are. We found these brigands. These guys are level 30, so they should be a bit easier to fight. It looks like there's a pickets of scouts up there. The glassblowing tools are up here, the north part of town. We're going to hop off our horse, and we're going to use this chief stalker to heal. because we'll use Battle Frenzy and then Bracing Attack to get us some health. Go, bring on a Raging Blade. Want to bring her down before we lose too much of that health that we gained by fighting her. There we go, that heal. Got her. Okay, that was very handy. Good bit of health to gain, and it looks like that captain over there is the one guarding. Ooh. So let's bring him to his knees. He is a signature. He should not be a worry for us. We have everything we need to deal with him. Except our interrupt. Still curious when we're going to get that button. Excellent. Well, we've been stunned. Looks like we're going down in health pretty quickly. Use Bracing Attack to give us a bit of health. I use a health potion there as well. Oh, he's called another friend. This could be quite bad. Can't really run. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to try and run. Oh dear. This is not good at all. There's nowhere really to go. There's so many enemies around here. Could this be the end of us? Oh, luckily we've parried that attack. Just running behind everyone here. This is very, very bad. Not an ideal situation at all. Okay, can we get off a Bracing Attack here? Yes. Okay, looks like we'll be able to beat this guy at least. Hopefully we'll be able to go get the glass blowing tools. That was a dangerous situation. Alright. Who have we got still guarding tools? Oh, I've got this worker. Let's hopefully use Bracing Attack on him to get health back. Yep, here we go. Bracing Attack. Give us a bit of help for our battle with whoever is still guarding those tools. And the captain. We didn't manage to kill the captain. Okay, we're going to switch into our single target style. Bring him down quickly. Let's just fight on and get us a bit of extra oomph in our attack. There we go. Bring him down much quicker than before. This is... Oh yeah, that crit was well timed. Okay. Very good, very good. Okay, we've got the glass blowing tools. Led us right out of camp. Right out of the town. And return to the hobbits, giving them back what is rightfully theirs. Allowing them to blow glass. Alright. Let's hand in these quests. Hopefully level us up to 30.
Is there something I can do for you?
There we go. Leveled up to 30. He's asking for my lost leaf paper. And you lose everything.
Well, the gall of some folk.
Finish that. We'll ensure
Might
that
I
the
speak
home
with you a
over there
moment?
is safe.
Well, the gall of some
Finish
folk.
that quest.
Could I take
And
a
we'll
moment of
beat
your
some
time?
spiders in the woods for him.
What do you need?
Finish that quest. And we'll get a bunch of quests to collect
Can I
different
take
things
a
for
moment
different
of your
colours of
time?
things. Red,
Stay and
blue,
have some tea.
bit of
Could I
sparkle,
take a moment of your time?
green,
Stay and have
lots
some
of quests
tea.
for us here. And a
Might I
quest
have a word
also
with
to
you?
defeat the Norbog. And also Salamence.
Might I speak with you a
So
moment?
heaps of quests for us to do next episode. And leveling up at 30, just on cue, we've got our Lobber skill. That's going to be very useful for us. I've got it on Control 1. I have my mouse programmed to do an extra button to hit Control 1. But that interrupt skill we will use heaps and heaps and heaps. But for now, guys, that is going to be all. Just make sure we didn't get anything else for leveling to 30. I don't think so. I think we're all good. We can inspect what we found in this box next episode. But for now, guys, that is going to be all. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like. If you're new, hit that subscribe button for daily videos. And also, if you have any suggestions, any questions about anything mechanics-wise of the game, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Anyway, again, guys, thank you for watching. This is Nauglir. It's been a pleasure playing, and I will see you tomorrow.